The views expressed on this program are not necessarily the views of Lexington Community Radio or its board of directors. The views expressed are solely those of the programmers.
You are listening to Off the Cuff. Now, here's your host, Adam Banks.
Welcome, everybody, to Off the Cuff. I am Adam Banks, coming at you live from Lexington, Kentucky. Thank you for listening to the show, and thank you for tuning in to WLXU 93.9 FM. In addition to listening to us on the radio, you can check out our Facebook live stream at Off the Cuff with Adam Banks, or you can download the Radio Lex app on your smartphone device to listen to us anywhere in the entire world. Amber Turner is in the studio with me. Amber, how are you this Thursday?
It's so hard for me to not mouth the words to the intro, but I know I get you caught up every time I do it.
I have really good peripheral vision. So whenever I am saying the intro, I can see you mouthing the words throughout my peripheral, and one day you're going to mess me up.
I know. That's why I'm just going to, tuck my lips in, so I just don't say anything.
And I changed it. I used to say download the WLXU app, but now I should go ahead and announce that we have a new app, Radio Lex app. So if you listen to us using the Lexington Community Radio app, that app that you have is going away in a couple weeks. So you need to re-download the new app that we have. And the new app is Radio Lex, RADIOLEX. Radio Lex, one word. That's the app that you need to download to listen to the show. So if you download the old Lexington Community Radio app, go ahead and get rid of that and download the new app and listen to us on there, because eventually that old app is going away. So just wanted to get that out there. Amber, so it is February the 27th, but February is extended this year. We have 366 days in 2020. Do you know the story behind leap year?
I don't. I've always been kind of scared of leap year because I'm like, I don't feel right that we just were like, oh, you know what? Every so many years, here's another day.
Here's another day, right. We have 366 days this year, and that's because there's an extra day added to the month of February, but I don't know why. And I was hoping you did.
Well, I usually know useless facts, but I don't know that one.
I had a student who had a birthday on February the 29th.
Oh, that's mean.
And I felt so bad for him because his dad used to tease him all the time. His dad used to, he said his dad always used to act like that he was only 4 when he was 12, or when he was, I'm trying to do math, when he was 18, I guess, whatever that is, because his birthday only came around every 4 years, so his dad used to tease him.
That would be so mean. When do you celebrate your birthday?
I guess you can either celebrate it on the 28th or the 1st of March. That's the only thing I can think of. But that would really suck.
I guess, how do you write your birthday? Because people's first thought when they look, I write mine at 6/27, not going to say the year.
Yeah.
But, if you write 2/29, 88, people are going to look at that and be like, wait, hold up. There's only 28 days. Do you get your paperwork sent back a lot? I guess is kind of what I would like to know.
What do you mean, paperwork?
They reject your birthday. They look at it, they're like, wait, there's not 29 days in February. You got this wrong.
That's true.
I would love to know how that paperwork gets filled out.
Yeah, it would be interesting. And if you're a listener and you want to call into the show and you have a February 29th birthday, I want to hear what that's like for you.
Yes.
I would like to hear what that's been like for you. But if you have a February 29th birthday, give us a shout on the Off the Cuff hotline. You like that, Amber, the Off the Cuff hotline?
Off the Cuff hotline. You going to give them the number?
859-721-5690. It's a little dark in the studio.
I was going to say, do you need some spectacles over there?
It's a little, I've set the mood here in the studio, so it's a little dark. But yeah, give us a shout, 859-721-5690. And that's only if your birthday is on February 29th, because I want to hear what your birthday is like, what it's been like for you. But Amber, is it time to be concerned with the coronavirus and all this going on and all this happening? Because I have been hearing a lot of people express their concerns with this coronavirus spreading. I mean, do we have anything to worry about?
Well, I mean, I don't want to say no, we don't have anything to worry about, but I think that we should probably stop and read between the lines just a little bit.
Yeah.
I think, unfortunately, because people like to believe fake news, and I don't like saying fake news, just in general, but especially not with coronavirus. But I think a lot of people are taking things out of context. I think a lot of people are reading what they want to read in these scientific studies. You know, I'm learning all about that right now, so I'm learning how to interpret this data that we're being given. And, you know, quite honestly, like, I've worked in the medical field for 10 years, and, you know, I'm being taught things that I never knew. So I can see why it's easy for people in the general public to read a couple of lines and then mass hysteria.
So this is a virus that can cause pneumonia. Those who have fallen ill are reported to suffer coughs, fever, and breathing difficulties. In severe cases, there can be organ failure. As this is a viral pneumonia, antibiotics are of no use. The antiviral drugs that we have against flu will not work, and the recovery depends on the strength of the immune system, is kind of what they have said about it so far. So it really just depends on how strong your immune system. It's not good if you have other underlying diseases.
Oh, yeah.
Because your immune system is weakened, and if you're older, your immune system is obviously going to be a little weaker too. So older people and people with underlying diseases don't want to catch this virus.
The immunocompromised is usually what we call them.
So how many people have been affected? Well, as of February the 25th, so that's just 2 days ago. As of February 25th, the outbreak has affected 80,000 people globally. Now, it started in China. Am I right about that?
It did, and I don't know the exact provenance in China, but it was from a smaller town called Wuhan.
Yeah. Wuhan.
Yeah.
And now people are starting to worry because now it's hit the United States.
It's state-borne. It is.
It's now in the United States. Is it a pandemic? No, because a pandemic is a worldwide spread of a disease, right?
Yep.
That's a worldwide spread. It's not spread worldwide. Now, there could be room for concern, but it's not a pandemic.
Not yet.
So we are going to talk more about the coronavirus. I'm very excited. We're bringing on an actual expert in the field of the study of diseases.
Epidemiology.
His name's Dr. Mary, and he's a professor at Eastern Kentucky University. Hopefully that interview is going to be aired March the
15th.
Is it the 15th?
It'll be, no, it's going to be the 19th.
Okay.
There we go with our math again.
Yeah. So hopefully we're going to have him come in and talk a little coronavirus, but nothing to be worried about. You know what could help you, though, Amber, if you get the coronavirus?
What?
Just a little bit of that 420 ganja.
Okay. I think that can help more than coronavirus.
It can help, obviously, with nausea, anxiety.
Loss of appetite.
A lot of things. But I bring it up, Amber, because Kentucky House Committee, they advanced the bill to legalize medical marijuana. With a 17-1 vote, the Kentucky House Judiciary Committee overwhelmingly approved House Bill 136, which legalizes medical marijuana. House Bill 136. It would allow doctors to prescribe cannabis and set up a regulatory framework for patients to obtain 420 smoke at approved dispensaries.
Okay, so is it going to cover smoking? I thought it was just going to be ingestibles or edibles for now.
You can't smoke it. So what's happened here is they are really pushing the bill to legalize marijuana. It has been approved from the House. We're still waiting on the Senate to approve it, but it's looking pretty bright for the future of medical marijuana.
Okay. I hope this is a 229, not a 420.
Okay, we're getting a call. Let's see if we have a February 29th birthday, because that's what we said, right?
Yep.
Hey, welcome to Off the Cuff. You're speaking to Adam Banks. Hold on. I got to cross you over to the board first. Hello, are you there? I don't know. Sorry, call back. You February 29th birthday.
We're so curious to hear about you.
Yeah, I don't know what happened there. I don't know if you hung up or if we lost you. But anyway, Amber, back to my Bob Marley music.
Okay. And we resume.
90% of Kentuckians support the legalization of medical marijuana because of its uses.
Yeah.
There's a lot of people that they spoke very passionately at the House committee. It's Eric Crawford, who has had he's a paraplegic. He says that he smokes marijuana to help him with his medical condition. He says, but he is a criminal in the state of Kentucky because he uses this. He says, if it becomes legal, I will not have to lay awake at night worrying about law enforcement coming into my home. Think about that. You do. Something that helps people, we have to worry about taking it because it's illegal.
But it's totally fine that we have mass quantities of benzodiazepines. We've got opioids. It's okay that we have all of those that we know have killed countless people. But we have to worry about marijuana.
And alcohol. Look how accessible alcohol is. Just look how accessible it is and how accepted it is to go out and chug a glass of whiskey, and how frowned upon it is to smoke a joint because it's illegal.
Well, yeah, and people, of course, automatically will assign negative connotations to it because you said the magic word, it's illegal.
It's illegal. So, House Bill 136 does not prohibit the cannabis flower, but they do, like I said, prohibit the smoking of it, so you can't smoke it. You'll get it from a dispensary, but you have to make it to where you can you can ingest it in other ways besides smoking.
Yeah.
I don't understand why they can't smoke it.
I don't know.
I don't know why that's the case. Now, let me just say this. I think that a lot of people are excited because they think that now they can just go and sit on their porch and light up and smoke and just use the drug just to get high. Just like with anything, you don't need to abuse marijuana. It's used for medical purposes. So you don't need to take this drug and use it if you don't need it. And you only use marijuana if you do need it. If it does help you with your sleep, use it. If it does help you with your anxiety, use it. Everybody that uses it most of the time claims that they're using it for a reason, and I'm not here to judge. If you do you. I would rather you do that. I would rather you do that than be addicted to pills.
Exactly.
I would rather you do that than be addicted to opioids that I have personally seen destroy the lives of many, many people.
Exactly.
And alcohol. And the Bible only warns us about one drug, and that's alcohol.
Well, but...
And look how accessible it is and how easy
legal.
It is to get it.
That's the difference. It's legal.
It's legal, and you can go out and get it right now if you wanted.
Yep.
Right now, no problem. And think about how bad you feel when you drink it.
I can't drink anymore. I don't know about you, but I can't even have a glass of wine anymore. My body just says no.
A bunch of representatives at this House meeting, they were surprisingly for the legalization of marijuana. One representative... His name is Joseph Fisher. He's a Republican from Fort Thomas. He passed on the vote, but not before questioning whether these with a marijuana prescription had a license to drive impaired without criminal consequences. So that's what everybody's wondering. How are you going to prevent people from driving under the influence after smoking?
The same way that we regulate alcohol. We do blood alcohol content levels, and it's 0.08. You know, we can have low detecting urine test, blood test for marijuana. I mean, we treat it the same way. Just because we can't breathe into a breathalyzer, it's going to be a little more difficult. We've got means to measure the amount of THC someone has in their system. Yeah. That's how we regulate it.
Yeah. Another representative, Neems, he says that it would be no different from drivers who have been prescribed opioids. They are allowed to drive as long as they have not taken enough to impair their ability to drive. So basically, it's saying you can have a little bit of ganja, you just can't have too much and get behind the vehicle, because that's when it becomes a problem. And that was from Jason Neems. But I also like what Jason Neems said during this House committee. He asked legislators what they would do if their spouse or child were told by their doctor that marijuana was the best treatment for their medical condition. He said that if the doctor told him that, he said he would break the law in a New York minute. And he said, and I will submit that every single person up there would do the same.
Exactly.
Think about that. If the doctor said that I know that marijuana for a fact is better for your child's condition, but I can't prescribe it. Or he says, I know this is what's best for him, but it's illegal. You're not going to hear the words, it's illegal.
No.
You're going to hear, this is what's best for them.
Exactly.
And you're going to do what you have to do to give it to them, even if you're breaking the law or not. So basically, it's just silly that we're making a medicine illegal when it's been proven to help medical conditions. Why make it illegal? Why are we so still against the legalization?
Exactly. And like you said at the beginning, this is a flowering plant.
Yeah.
Keyword in that being plant.
Yeah.
This is not a chemically adulterated product. This is not something that, your cousin made in his backyard in a pop can or a soda bottle. This is something that is grown. And I think that if we put regulations on it like we have with everything else, moderation, teaching people how to use it, it could be so much more beneficial than us putting these harmful toxins into our body constantly.
Dr. Jeffrey Block of the University of Miami testified at the House meeting. He said that research shows that marijuana and cannabis can be an effective treatment for chronic pain, multiple sclerosis, nausea from chemotherapy, and seizures. Hey, I say legalize it. Don't criticize it. Legalize it.
Just a little smoke, not big smoke.
Yeah. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we got lots more Off the Cuff coming at you live after these words. Stick with us.
Then we were swinging. Yes, we were swinging.
Welcome back, everybody, to Off the Cuff. Adam Banks here with you. Amber is also in studio with me. Amber, I love it when I am able to talk about local stories going on, and I just jumped on this story when I saw it.
Okay.
And a lot of people don't seem too happy about this. Some seem happy, some not so happy, but mixed reviews.
Okay.
The Fayette Mall has made a new rule that they're going to implement in March. The Fayette Mall says it will be implementing a youth escort policy. And it says the new regulation will require mall visitors under 18 to be accompanied by an adult on Fridays and Saturdays after 4 p.m. Anyone under 18 without an adult over the age of 21 present during those times will be asked to leave. A mall spokesperson says that this comes after a rising number of unsupervised children have been hanging out at the mall and causing disruptions. The policy doesn't affect workers at the mall who are under 18, but they will have to leave after their shifts. What do you make of it?
I mean, I don't understand how people can even be upset about this. When I first read it, I thought anytime you were at the mall, you had to be escorted. And I was like, well, that's a bit much. But it's only during, hours when mischief is going to happen.
I know why people are upset about it. I know why parents are upset about it.
They dump their kids there and go on about their business.
Yeah, the Fayette Mall was their babysitter.
Exactly.
So now they can't just dump their kids off at the Fayette Mall. See, I have no sympathy for these kids. I have no sympathy for these parents. Part of the reason I'm a little bitter because I didn't grow up with a mall around me, so I don't know what it's like to roam the halls of the mall on a Saturday. And I get so salty when I see the teenagers doing it now because I'm like, wow, that looks like a lot of fun. And it did. I never had that growing up. I don't think you did either.
Well, we grew up together, so no, I didn't.
Well, I think you traveled a little bit more.
Well,
and you
yeah,
did a lot more mall trips than what I did.
Well, but you got to think I was supervised. You think my parents were going to let me anywhere out of their sight with their credit card? No.
I bet you that would have been so much fun as a teenager to walk around the mall, though.
Oh, I'm sure it is. I watch them when they do it now.
Well,
you know, and I agree with you. It looks like it's so much fun, but at the same time, I'm watching these. I'm seeing y'all. I see what you doing.
The mall
You're
is
stealing.
The mall is just such a fascinating place to be, Amber. What's interesting about the mall is millennials, which we're millennials.
Yeah.
We've tried to kill the American mall. We have.
Yeah, we have.
We have with the Amazon and the online ordering.
Yep.
We have tried to kill it. But you know who's trying to save the mall?
Who?
This new generation. Gen Z is trying to save the shopping mall. Now, hear me out with what I'm trying to say about that. There has been a study of around 95% of Gen Z have visited the shopping mall in 2018 and 2019. 95%.
Okay.
So that's opposed to just 75% of millennials and 58% of Gen X according to International Council of Shopping Center study. And the study says that Gen Z genuinely likes the mall. So if the most visitors that the mall gets is from Gen Z, and here we are blocking Gen Z from going to the mall, are we aiding the destruction of the American mall?
But we're not blocking them from coming. And I think, again, I said earlier, people, will read a line of something and they take what they want out of it. We're only saying, hey, after 4 o'clock on Fridays and Saturdays, maybe your chitlins should be with you or be at home, because there is a more likelihood that they're going to have criminal activity, whether it be with the children or whether it be with other people.
But this study is saying that Gen Z is the only ones that really go to the mall anymore. Millennials don't really go. Gen X don't really go. So if Gen X and the millennials can't drop their Gen Z grandkids or kids off, who's going to be the ones walking the malls?
Well, I mean, it's just Fridays and Saturdays after 4. So it's not like they're saying, hey, you can't ever come back. It's just, hey, during these peak hours, go home.
Yeah.
Or, have your parent here. I think it's just a safety protocol is all I think it is. So I agree with it. I'm for it.
Sean Powell on the show thread says, I would hang out at the mall with my friends on the weekends. Was a good time. I'm jealous of that. I'm curious, Sean. Like, what would you guys do? Would you just walk into like stores like Spencer's or just like walk around record stores? That's what I see kids doing now.
Or
goofing off,
eating in the food court,
showing mischief. Yes, the food court. Amber, I've got some fascinating things about the mall of 10 reasons, not really 10 reasons, of just a couple reasons of why a person should go to the mall.
Okay.
So if you see that the mall is starting to decline in your town, you need to go, because you're not going to get this experience. You're not going to get in a mall. You're not going to get a mall experience anywhere else besides a mall. The reason you should go to a mall is because you find a wide variety of shops in one small area. The food court has lots of options.
Oh, yeah.
Who doesn't like the mall food court? You can purchase just about anything in a mall.
Oh, yeah.
Anything that you can think of, you can think of a store and go to it and get it at the mall. Every store smells like perfume or Starbucks coffee. 94% of people are using a mobile phone as they shop. I don't know why that's a reason. That's actually stupid. There's Wi-Fi everywhere.
That's a good one.
That is a good one. Vendors try to sell you pointless stuff like plastic to cover up your phone. They do. It's like real life infomercials right in front of you when you go to a mall.
Oh, it really is.
And you get sucked in and buying things you never would have bought in the store by yourself just walking around.
And they make eye contact with me, and they know don't approach me. Like, I think I have just fixed my face over the years. Don't approach me.
I bought a massage mouse one time at the mall.
Wait, what?
It was a massage mouse. It looked like a mouse.
Okay.
And you put these... It looks like an EKG machine. You stick these little sticky things on you, and you turn the massage thing on, and it massages your body.
Oh, like a TENS unit.
Yeah, and for some reason, when the guy showed me how to use it at the mall, it felt really good when he was showing me how to use that product.
Yeah.
But when I bought it, I never could make it feel like that again.
Do you still have this?
Yeah, I do.
I will take it.
You want it?
Yeah.
It was like $70, and it was a waste of money.
Wait, are you going to make me pay for it?
No, I'll give it to you. It's really pointless. You can get enough exercise walking around a mall in 1 hour than a day at the gym. Think about how much walking you do at the mall.
Oh, a lot.
And it's fun walking.
Sometimes.
Unless you're a mall walker, because there are mall walkers.
There are definitely mall walkers.
Mall walkers that actually walk around the mall before the stores open up.
And I always get stuck behind them.
I used to see mall walkers when I worked at the mall, when I would open up at American Eagle in 2008 when I worked there. I used to see mall walkers, and they fit the bill of a typical mall walker. They had on sweatpants, a little crew neck shirt, and...
That sounds like me right now.
Oh, and they even had the headband on. Some of them would wear headbands.
Like a sweatband?
Yeah, a sweatband.
Not a buddy band.
No. Some more mall reasons why you should go to the mall is the temperature is always perfect. If the weather is bad, it's the perfect place to hide from the trouble of the world and have a nice time shopping and relaxing. Wouldn't you agree?
Nah, I don't know if I agree with relaxing.
The mall is... I feel good in a mall.
Sometimes, I mean, if I'm going there with a purpose, I don't because I want to get in, get out. But if I'm just going because I got leisure time, then yeah, that's fine. That's relaxing.
Yeah.
Purpose, no. Leisure, yes.
I got you. Well, Amber, it's about that time for Off the Cuff to play its Song of the Week. I'm going to play a little Lady Gaga. Do you like Lady Gaga?
I love Lady Gaga.
Queen Lady Gaga. I wanted to play her new song that she released. You know, she's releasing a new song.
Tomorrow.
It's at midnight, and I thought it was releasing at midnight today.
Oh, no.
But it's midnight today tomorrow.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
You took that the long way, but yeah, that made sense.
And it's called Stupid Love.
Stupid Love.
I wonder if it's about her being in love with her new boyfriend.
Maybe.
I hate that because it's not me.
Well, it could be.
Hey, Lady Gaga. Just speaking to you from here. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we'll be back after the song. Enjoy Off the Cuff Song of the Week. That was Lady Gaga with Bad Romance. Can't wait to hear what her new song sounds like. Before we take a quick break, we were talking about shopping malls, and I forgot to mention, do you remember the WCW having their first Nitro at a shopping mall?
Why do I remember that? I think because you made me watch it.
Well, in 1995, when WCW went head-to-head against Monday Night Raw, they had their first Nitro in a shopping mall.
You made me watch that, so I do know that.
You can't get more creative than that, and the production value was unreal. And they just literally had a ring in the middle of the mall, and they had people going up the escalators, and it looked like people were shopping, and they just had a crowd around, and they shot the first episode, the whole 2-hour first episode of Nitro in the mall. I think it was the Mall of America.
Well, it wasn't just wrestling, though. I mean, think about how many performances people have done in the mall. Tiffany from the 80s, that's who I think about.
Yeah, people used to perform at the mall.
Dude, we need to bring that back.
I'm telling you, the mall, the American mall, the millennials are killing it. Our generation is the ones killing the American mall. We are.
I'm going to wait on a message from my husband to say going to the mall where they have it all, because that's his favorite. That's his favorite comedian song. There's a song about going to the mall where they have it all.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to take a quick break, and we'll be right back after these words. Stick with us.
This is that ice cold Michelle fight for that white gold. This one.
Welcome back, everybody, to Off the Cuff. Adam Banks here with you. Amber is also in studio with me. It is almost that time, ladies and gentlemen. March Madness is approaching, and I just want to make mention that Off the Cuff will be having a March Madness series, the annual March Madness series, starting March the 15th with a Selection Sunday show. Now, obviously, that won't be live on the radio on Selection Sunday because the studio's closed on Sunday, so it's going to be posted to our podcast feed, Off the Cuff. The regular Off the Cuff sports panel will be here. That's Jordan Canasser, Chad Rainwater, Zach Kahn, and myself. Will be posting a podcast on Selection Sunday, March the 15th, to talk about the brackets. And then we will have 3 additional episodes onto the March Madness series, which will be aired. There'll be a promo video coming out with more details on that, but I'm looking forward to it. Basketball season is the hottest that it always is at this time of year. The NFL season is over. A lot of people hate when the NFL ends because that's America's favorite sport. People could watch football all year long. I don't know how they do it. I really don't. But thankfully, there is something to help cure that football hangover, and that's from Vince McMahon. And he created the XFL. Everybody remembers the XFL back in 2001 when he launched it, and it failed miserably. But he brought it back in a different era, in a different time. And I've said this before, and I'll say this again. Any Vince McMahon vision is worth sticking around for and checking it out, because the man is brilliant. Here is a man who created the World Wrestling Entertainment. He made a local territory, the WWF, go national. He created stars like Hulk Hogan and Stone Cold Steve Austin and The Rock. And he's just a pure genius. Look what he has done just in general with everything. He started a football league. Now, he's not competing with the NFL. He's not going head to head because that would be a losing battle. But he created a league, and he's hoping that the league will become as big as the NFL. I mean, there's teams like the Dallas Renegades, which is coached by Bob Stoops, which is Mark Stoops' brother. Did you know that?
I did not.
There's other teams like the Houston Roughnecks, the Los Angeles Wildcats, the Seattle Dragons, the DC Defenders, the New York Guardians, the St. Louis Battlehawks, and the Tampa Bay Vipers. So there's certain cities that have already gotten NFL teams. So that's what? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 teams so far. There may be more than that. But there's not many yet. So I'm sure there'll be more added to see. It just depends on how successful the XFL gets. It's had a lot of good reviews so far. It's not exactly like the NFL. There are some rule differences because you don't want to make an exact carbon copy league. What's the point?
Yeah, make it interesting.
You want to do something that's a little different. That's not exactly the same product as the NFL.
Yeah.
But Amber, anything Vince McMahon does is worth sticking around for. I mean, Vince McMahon is arguably the reason pay-per-view exists.
I can agree with that 100%.
I mean, look at what all he has contributed to the world of pay-per-view. Now, pay-per-view isn't what it used to be, but back in the day, pay-per-view, when you had to pay to see something, pay to watch a show.
Oh, yeah.
He was a big contributor to the success of pay-per-view.
Well, you could kick it on back, that closed circuit. You know, he started that where he would play it in the theaters and then...
Oh, yeah, that's right. The closed circuit. I love the idea of a closed circuit. Yes, before pay-per-views, there was something called closed circuit where you didn't pay to watch it from your home. You would go to the movie theater and pay it because the movie theater would be playing the event. So back in the day when they would have WrestleMania, you didn't rent it from your TV. You went to your local movie theater and watched it. You paid for a ticket, and that was called closed circuit.
That would have been so fun.
I wish they still did closed circuit.
That I would go to that.
Well, there's certain things that I would go to a theater to watch because I love going to a theater anyway. I think it's just fun. I like the vibes and energy in a theater. I like just the whole surrounding and atmosphere. So it would be fun to go and watch a WrestleMania in a movie theater.
Oh, I would go.
Imagine going to the Regal and watching WrestleMania 40.
In those seats, reclining back, we got popcorn. That would be a good time.
That would be a good time. Yeah, he did the closed circuit, but what pay-per-view, it became a thing because Vince McMahon was such a huge contributor to it. He had a wrestling pay-per-view every month.
Oh, yeah.
There was, I think, a couple people that really participated in pay-per-view. Vince McMahon. I know Jerry Springer was big into pay-per-view.
Jerry Springer was big into pay-per-view.
We went and watched a pay-per-view show of his live. Boxing was big into pay-per-view. HBO really got in on that whole pay-per-view business with boxing.
Oh, yeah.
And UFC kind of is the new people who have taken over the pay-per-view. I think they're really the only ones that are keeping it around anymore.
I know, but now, it doesn't have that exciting feeling anymore.
I like renting movies.
Yeah.
How that used to be off the satellite. Remember when you could rent the movies off satellite?
That. Satellite in itself was such a good thing.
Getting the satellite for the first time, you felt like you were never going to get bored again.
And you know what? For a while, you didn't. I mean, I can think of an entire summer that I just sat there and watched I Still Know What You Did Last Summer on repeat over and over and over and over.
And you didn't have to go to a rental movie store anymore because you could rent the movies. They had the hottest movies out on your DirecTV.
Yep. As soon as they hit theaters, 2 weeks later, you get them on DirecTV.
I got to ask.
Yeah.
Did you or your family ever have the illegal satellite card?
If I said no, I'd be lying.
You know what I'm talking about when I say that illegal satellite card where
Get you a little zap action.
You took your card from your satellite and you would take it somewhere. You would take that card somewhere and you would get it zapped for like $50. Somebody would zap it for you and you would stick the card back into your satellite box and you would get everything for free.
And you would keep it for like 2 or 3 weeks until they scrambled your signal. You take it out, take it back to them.
I mean,
$50. Boom.
And everything you would get free. I'm talking porn. not that I know from experience.
I mean, I might, though.
You'd get porn. You'd get movies.
All the movies.
All the movies. All the movies. All the pay-per-views. These wrestling pay-per-views that were $30, you got them for free.
Got them for free.
It was the greatest thing ever. It was the greatest $50 that you could spend.
Oh, yeah.
But the only thing that sucked about it is they could zap that card and make it go away within a matter of seconds if they caught that you had it.
Exactly.
And I don't know how they would catch you with an illegal card. I don't know if there was some type of radar in the satellite.
I have no clue. I always used to hear that you weren't supposed to watch them like during peak hours. So like my family member who had it would always go through the house, stomping, turn them satellites off, you're going to get it zapped. And I'm
exactly.
like, wait, what?
And I remember watching those boxes because a lot of my friends had the illegal card, and we would all get together and we would watch the wrestling pay-per-views, and it was free, so we would all go to my friend's house and watch the wrestling pay-per-view, and we were always a little nervous because we knew at any given time they could zap that card and make it go away.
Oh, yeah.
Like where your card wouldn't work anymore.
And it came with like a sense of thrill because you're doing something illegal.
You were doing something illegal, but it was amazing because you got everything for free.
Dude, I remember you used to get like music channels.
Mm-hmm.
Remember you could just turn to 464 and it was like
Hip-hop.
80 hip-hop.
Hip-Hop Nation.
Yeah, Hip-Hop Nation, 80s music. I loved that.
But just the movie channel in general would show you previews of what's out, and there was something about renting a movie. It's like you were doing such a big thing when you would rent that movie from your remote.
Oh, because we felt like we were ahead of the time because everybody else had to get in their car and tater-tote themselves to the down to KC Grocery and Video and rent their movie, but I done it at the house.
Did you ever? Let's just take the illegal card out of it.
Okay.
And let's just say you're paying for a pay-per-view.
Okay.
Did you ever rent any of the pay-per-views besides movies? Would you ever rent like a Jerry Springer, or would you ever rent a wrestling pay-per-view?
I mean, if I'm being honest, no, because eventually somebody else had that card and they'd record it and I'd get that VHS and I'd watch it that way.
I was going to say, I know I watched Jerry Springer, I Married a Horse, but I don't think I rented it from satellite. I'm pretty sure we rented it from a video store, but that's another story in itself. If you haven't watched I Married a Horse, it's
Good luck finding it.
good luck finding it. Yeah, it's hard to find stuff
If you
like
find
that.
it, let me know.
But yeah, Jerry Springer used to do pay-per-views all the time. I don't think he's doing it anymore, but he did.
It was a good time. It was a good time to be alive, though. There was a lot of entertainment that you could do at home, which
Yeah.
is something I think we kind of are missing today because, we've got these big conglomerates that'll just, release a whole series of stuff. Well, I can watch that in 2 days. But the anticipation of waiting on purchasing, an event like WrestleMania, that was fun, that build-up.
But don't you feel pressure to rent a movie now? Don't you feel like you're spending a lot of money when you rent a $4 movie today?
Yeah, because my husband yells at me.
And back in the day, it was nothing to rent it, but now...
Well, but back in the day, it was like $1.99.
Yeah.
Now it's $4.99.
Yeah. Yeah. They're outpricing themselves.
Yeah. That's a little bit much.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, stick with us. We got one more segment on Off the Cuff. We'll be right back after these words. Welcome back, everybody, to Off the Cuff. Adam Banks here with you. Amber is also in studio with me. Last segment of the hour. Amber, did you ever eat Hot Pockets?
I'm pretty sure I fed you a mini Hot Pocket, so yeah, I ate them.
You better be getting your Hot Pockets while you can, because the Hot Pocket heiress,
Yeah,
the heir to the Hot Pocket throne,
yeah.
has been sentenced to 5 months in prison. So the queen of Hot Pocket is going to jail. Have you heard about this?
I have not.
Okay, so she was in the admissions scandal with Lori Loughlin.
Oh, okay.
And she did what Lori did, and she paid some money to get her daughter into school, and she is going to jail for it now because the judge says that he is doing this because he thinks that it's necessary to give her jail time because he wants to set an example to let other people know that they cannot use their wealth to break the law, and he's basically just using her to set an example.
I think that's a terrible reason to put somebody in jail. She has to be so upset right now. Like, why are you picking me to be the one to set the example on? Like, why not set it on Lori Loughlin?
I mean, I get it. I do. I really do. she's worth $2 billion. That's what she sold her family. She didn't do anything. Let me just put it this way.
Yeah.
It was her father and her uncle who did it. And they had a company called Chef America, and they sold it to Nestle in 2002 for more than $2 billion.
Okay.
And she said, I am so very sorry that I tried to create an unfair advantage for my children, she said. So that's what she did. And I don't know if she necessarily deserved jail time, but I think that it's unfortunate that she did this because she knocked out a deserving person out of getting into school, out of getting a scholarship.
Yeah.
Because here's somebody who's worth $2 billion. Why are you so worried about where your kid is going to school? They don't need school. They don't. They're worth $2 billion.
Well, I mean, but anything could happen, you know. Maybe she doesn't anticipate giving her estate to her children.
Why do we go to school for, though? Do we go to school really to learn, or do we go to school to get a degree to go get a job?
I mean, if you'd asked me that about 10 years ago, I'd have told you we went to school to get a degree to get a job. But now, as an older adult, I think I actually go to learn. I want to learn and understand, because I've already been in, semi my field for a long time. I want to learn.
But the things that I learn is not in school. For instance, I've learned everything that I have about television by going out and doing it in the workforce.
Yeah.
My professors are the people that I work with at ABC 36. That's my professors of TV. The professors at Moorhead never taught me anything about television. The people that I work with did. Radio, my teachers are... I don't know. I guess I'm my own instructor with radio, because I've never had anybody. Howard Stern.
Who done the rest of the story? Paul Harvey.
Yeah, but I think life experience is what you learn. I look back at what I learned in school, really wasn't a lot. The things that I learned, I taught myself. I had an interest in it myself to go and learn it.
Yeah.
I felt like I didn't retain a lot of information in high school, in grade school, when we were talking about things like the Civil War, or the Revolutionary War, or the Pythagorean theorem. I didn't really just pay attention and learn that. I decided on my own when I was interested in later in life that, okay, you know what? I want to know a little bit about what the Constitution is. So I went out and learned it myself.
Yeah.
I didn't learn it from somebody else telling me about it, as much as I'm sure teachers don't like to hear that.
Yeah.
That's just me.
Yeah.
That's just how I learned. So why go to school if you're worth $2 billion? I don't know why. And I know from somebody in my position who is a college professor, it's probably really odd to hear me say that. But, I mean, I guess I can get behind why people go to school.
Yeah.
If you're not going for just... Okay, I would say college can be for everybody. And what I mean when I say that is it's nice to have that college experience.
Oh, yeah.
And that's really why you should go, to have that college experience.
Yes.
And get an education on top of it.
Just while you're there.
Just while you're there.
Yeah, go and get you a degree.
Yeah. That's what I would say. But she is... she's going to pay the consequence for it.
I'm just curious as to why she's getting 5 months, but Felicity Huffman received a very low sentence.
I don't understand the justice system ever.
Yeah.
Nothing's ever the same.
I just wonder if, they're basing it off the magnitude of money. Maybe that was spent, or I don't want to say donated, because it was not donated, but maybe the amount of money, the monetary value attached to it.
The crime is the same, but the punishment never is.
No.
Look at Harvey Weinstein. Did you hear about him?
I did.
Harvey Weinstein, one of the most powerful men in Hollywood, was charged and now convicted on one of his main charges. Because he was charged by a couple things, and he was only convicted of one or two,
and acquitted of some others.
But it was a big charge that he got. It was a big...
I think it was the sexual assault.
Yeah. He's facing a minimum of 5 years.
Yeah.
And I think he's going to get sentenced on March the 11th. So he's currently in jail awaiting his sentence. And he still says that he did not rape or sexually harass or molest anybody. He said he did not. He said it was all consensual. And in a way,
You know, though, we talked about this in one of my classes today, and I never thought that this would come in handy. But if you got somebody who's starving, I mean, Adam, you ain't eating days. And I say, hey, I got this hamburger here. And I'll give you this hamburger, but you got to do this for me. I mean, is that not the same thing that he's doing?
That's what he did.
These women wanted to excel in their careers because they're good at it. I mean, let's face it, they had to be good at what they were doing. And he said, okay, here's your career.
Exactly.
Here's your career in this bag. But you got to do this for me. And you know what?
They had a choice.
They had a choice.
They could have not done it.
But at the end of the day, where would that have landed them at?
Yeah. Well, here's the thing. If they got raped, that's bad. That's horrible.
Terrible.
And he needs to go to prison. If they got sexually molested or harassed, that's bad. He needs to go to prison. But if he had sex with these women and they had sex with him so he could get them ahead in their career, and now all these years later they're saying, well, you know what? I feel now I was forced into that.
Well, no.
If they're sitting there thinking that now, then I don't really know how to feel about that.
Well, these women were powerless, and he was a man with power, and they knew that, you know, if I tell you no, my career is over. Adam, if somebody looked at you and said, hey, you have to do this for me, or your career in radio and television is over.
But they still could have said no.
I mean, but at the end of the day, that's their dream. That's what they wanted to do. That's what they're passionate about. You cannot take a man of power and take these powerless people and expect that, you know, he can't be the ruler of the kingdom, but he was.
Okay, I understand that he was dangling that carrot, and they had a choice. But is it fair for them to do it anyway, and then after they do it, they say, "Well, he raped me"? Because did he rape them? If they,
I don't know if rape
were consensual?
is a good word for that. I do think that he used his power status as a means to take advantage. So I can fully get behind saying that these women were taken advantage of.
Yeah.
And in my eyes, that should be illegal just as much as rape is. They were taken advantage of.
I see what you're saying.
Yeah.
I do see what you're saying. Well, he's going to hit the old big house, and he's going to wait his sentencing on March the 11th, facing up to a minimum of 5 years. I couldn't imagine living the lifestyle that he did and going to where he was at to where he's going to be, because that's a pretty drastic change.
So he's going to pass go, not collect $200, go to jail.
He's not going to make any money in jail, no.
No.
And he's had powerful movies, amazing movies. Scream.
Oh, yeah, great movies. Amazing producer. He had an eye for talent.
Oh, yeah.
Just, you know.
Just a little perv.
Just a little perv.
All right, ladies and gentlemen. I want to thank you for listening to another episode of Off the Cuff. You can follow me on Instagram and Twitter at The Adam Banks. You can follow Off the Cuff on Facebook at Off the Cuff with Adam Banks. Follow Amber at Ambu447. That is Amber Turner. I'm Adam Banks. This is Off the Cuff. We'll see you next Thursday from 4 to 5. Be safe.